All right, guys, we're starting a new section of social studies, moving along with our 13 colonies and the birth of the Northwest Territory. And we already talked about the American Revolution and why that all occurred. And so now we're going to push right along with um, talking about what the Northwest Territory is. And we did that on a map activity as well. So we've already talked about, our sidebars over here. Remember, I told you this section right here, and I'll highlight it for you. This section right here is what we like to call a sidebar. Okay, and so in the sidebar, there's 13 of these, and I'm going to show you why I'm numbering this. Okay, there's 13 of those, right? And you'll notice that one of the text features is that it's lit up blue here, and it's also in the text lit up blue over here. So you know what to look for, you know how to find it, and you're just going to read through, or else I'm going to read through and show you, talk about what some of these different things are. So we have Articles of Confederation, we have Territory, Congress, Land Ordinance of 1785, Northwest Ordinance, what is government, legislature, constitution, rights, trial by jury, what is slavery, who is Arthur Sinclair, and where is the Northwest Territory. These are all things we're going to talk about in this chapter. All right. So if I were to push right along, and I'm going to do one quick thing before I get started. I'm going to open up my pen so that it's available to me while I read. Hopefully that pops up for me. And it looks like it did. Yes. Yes, indeedy. There it is. All right. We are good to go. That over here, just in case I want to highlight something. So, by spring of 1783, the American Revolution was over. The original colonies had become states in a new country, the United States of America. What would become of the Ohio country? So, let's just do a quick recap. We had the French and Indian War, right? Ooh, that's huge. Let me fix those dots. Yeah. So we had the French and Indian War. So it started out with the French and Indian War. We talked about that, right? And the French and Indian War was really, it was the France battling England, right? All right. And so that war was over. Now England wanted to tax the colonists, and the colonists weren't super happy about being taxed and not being represented. Their tax dollars went over to England and didn't do anything for them in the original 13 colonies. So now we're starting the American Revolution, right? That was the right revolution. Start of that. Well, now the American Revolution is over, and guess what was born from that? USA. Right now. And so we did some things like we pushed into further west in the United States, right? And we're going to talk about that expansion. All right. So we are good to go. So let's keep chatting about this. So here we go. By the spring 1780, the American Revolution was over. The original colonies had become states in a new country called the United States of America. The big picture. All right. The treaty with Great Britain gave the Ohio country to the United States. Then, leaders of the United States made plans to open the rich land west of the Appalachian Mountains for settlement. The opening of Ohio to settlers after the war was just a beginning. Winning the American Revolution had given Americans the freedom to govern themselves. In 1777, they developed the Articles of Confederation as a basis for setting up their own government. However, it took 4 years for all the states to approve the Articles. They couldn't agree whether the land west of the Appalachian Mountains should belong to only a few states or be a territory. A territory is an area of land that is part of the country, but not yet a state. Finally, all agreed that the land belonged to our new country. All right, so there you have that page. But before I end the video, you have two things. You're going to set this page up right here. The birth of the Northwest Territory, and I've already gone over this with you, but here's your page. And we just talked about those two things. We talked about the Articles of Confederation, and we talked about what territory is, right? And so if you go back into your book, you see these two things, right? You see Articles of Confederation, and you see territory, right? And it tells you what territory is here, and it tells you what the Articles of Confederation are right here. So there you have it. And you're going to go through and you're going to try to get all 13 of these done. And the good thing is I've read each page to you, so you can go through with what I've read and be able to get that page filled out. All right. Tadero out.